Good morning. Meteorologist Lisa Green here on this first day. We'll step out of the way. First day of autumn. Now, you've been watching hopefully each day when we do these updates, and we talked about that first week of autumn and first week of fall being that first week of September. And that's because that's when we are focused in on meteorological fall. Well, now it is astronomical fall, and that means that we have conditions that are so that we are looking at equal day and equal night time in the Earth's position relative to the sun. And so this officially kicks off that season where we're losing daylight and we're gaining nighttime, more night than day going on after this until we get into the winter solstice coming up in later December. So let's take a look at, I want to show you a couple of, we've already been getting some fall pictures here. Sorry guys, we'll get it together here. Looking at fall pictures that have come in so far. Julia has sent us a couple of great ones, kind of bookending the one in the middle there. Last week she sent us the one on the left of the tips, the very tippy top of the trees changing color. I love those kind of views. We get that a lot around here in North Dakota and Minnesota on our trees. We see the top parts of them start to change. And I posted about this earlier today, how it just looks like broccoli that's been dipped in some ketchup or some mustard, depending on the leaf color, when I see those trees. I love those. And that was last week. And then this morning we got a photo from her on the right of those fall colors in Detroit Lakes as well. And then in the middle, I don't know where this was taken, but I do love this photo. It's so peaceful. You could see the fall colors changing, the swans on the peaceful, calm waters there as well in the view too. Just a nice, beautiful fall scene from this past week. So thank you so much for your fall photos. We really appreciate getting them. Let's take a look at what we've got coming up now, the fall equinox. So talking about that here today. Officially, the fall equinox happens at 1:19 p.m. on September 22nd. So this is called the autumn equinox or fall equinox. The flip side of that is the vernal or spring equinox. Both are similar, but we're moving in different directions with them. During an equinox, we have the sun's rays passing directly over the equator during this time. A reminder, we've talked about this before, that the Earth is tilted, and so it doesn't go around the sun. This is its axis. It doesn't just go around the sun like this. It's tilted like this. So there are times of the year during its rotation around the sun where the northern hemisphere is tilted away. That's winter time. Times of the year where it's not much of a difference, and then times of the year, sorry for my terrible demonstration, and then times of the year where it is tilted toward, and that's summertime. And then the in-between here is the equinox, where yes, it's tilted, but the sun's rays are passing directly over it. So that demonstration's not the best, but hopefully you get what I'm talking about here. But this time of year is when the sun's rays are directly over the equator. So it's called equinox because that's Latin for equal night, and basically that means that we get equal night, equal day, and so we get an equal amount of daylight from the North Pole to the equator to the South Pole, about 12 hours each of those locations because of that. But now we are with the autumnal equinox. We're starting to see the Earth in its revolution around the sun start to get into that. So it would be here starting to get into that away pointing of the northern hemisphere. And so then we get less daylight during this time, or we start to see less daylight than nighttime as we head into the fall months and head toward the winter solstice. So that's how that all works. So yes, this is more astronomical fall. That doesn't mean that suddenly we're going to get fall weather. In fact, we oftentimes see fall weather before the fall equinox. We have already, and that's why we oftentimes will, from a weather standpoint, we will be talking about, fall weather and the meteorological seasons a little sooner than the astronomical seasons here. So again, as we continue to talk about fall and fall conditions, we're also looking at a loss of daylight again during this time. So for today, our sunrise was at 7:14, sunset as at 7:24. Tomorrow we will have a later sunrise and an earlier sunset, so we continue to lose daylight. This is for Fargo. And we are currently losing about 3 minutes and 19 seconds of daylight a day here. So yes, we are in that downward trend of daylight. One interesting thing to note, though, is I shared this earlier on our Facebook page. This is the time of year with that sun passing directly over the equator. Our sunrises and sunsets are directly east and west, which is cool unless you're driving an east-west road around sunrise and sunset. So heading east this morning, drivers would have driven, right into that, and that can be dangerous. It blocks your view for you and the oncoming drivers too. With you not being able to see where you're going. And same thing for sunset. Looking at the moving west on an east-west road around sunset, around that 7:24 time, you're running into that sun directly in your line of sight. So sunglasses, the visor, whatever you can do. I know it's around that time all the deer are out as well. It can be dangerous. And it's not just today. It's the days leading up to it. It's the days after it until the sun moves its position a little bit more. In fact, I ran into that problem last weekend heading west around sunset. It was quite tough to see and a little nerve-wracking. So something to keep in mind here this time of year. So let's take a look at our almanac for the fall equinox. A reminder here, the date for the equinox varies, and today's is the 22nd. So we're looking at numbers for the 22nd. We'll step over here so we can see that a little bit better. Our average high, 69 degrees, so it's now below 70. So starting to see our averages drop. Record high, 101. Record low, 23. We're not seeing either of those today. Average low is about 46, which we were above average today. And precip, average is over a period of time. We often don't see average precip come down. It's either nothing at all or we get a good amount of rain. And then the record for today's date is 1.39 inches. That was set back in 2000. So again, starting to cool down from a climate standpoint, but we're actually heating up this week. We're going to be seeing some warm temperatures coming our way. This is a look outside at the Dakota Magic Casino sky cam. This is down along the Dakota border, and you can see beautiful blue sky, very little movement to our flags there, and that contributed to some fog this morning, areas of dense fog. We did have a first alert weather morning. We've specifically focused our first alert weather day to the morning hours because of those areas of patchy dense fog. That has since been dropped. We've dropped it because the fog has improved. So now we're looking at just a beautiful day ahead, not so concerned about first alert weather day conditions. And you can see in our visibility map here, looking really good in the east and out to the west, still a little lower in Cooperstown. We're at 1 mile visibility right now. And our wind is very light. The air is calm in many locations. We do have some wind. Well, it's kind of variable, the direction it's coming from. Some out of the south, some out of the north or east. And temperatures are warming up. It's 10 o'clock, almost 11 o'clock, and we're at 70 degrees at the top of the hour in Fergus Falls. So once we get closer to 11, that will probably go up even more. We'll probably see more places getting into the 70s. So it's going to be, a warm day today. Your lunch break's looking really good. Here's a look at our hour-by-hour planner. If we have some remnant fog going on here this morning, watch as that just continues to erode away and we end up with mostly sunny skies. Could be a couple of clouds drifting in from the north and west along the international border, but it really is looking to be a beautiful summer-like fall day here for today. As we continue into tonight, looking really pleasant, and we're just zooming all the way through into tomorrow morning. Not much to show, though. There may be a couple of pockets of fog yet again tomorrow morning. Perhaps not as many areas, but still something we'll need to watch out for the start of our day. Afternoon planner, just beautiful. Temperatures low to upper 70s. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw 1 or 2 places get to 80 today. Keep in mind our average is about 10 degrees cooler than that for our highs. And the weekend, let's look ahead because we're going to be warm this week. We'll look at that at your 11-day planner, but you go back to work on Monday, go back to school on Monday, you're already thinking about the weekend. So here's what we've got. A much, more pleasant weekend. Sunday turned out to be pretty good as that system moved on for a lot of places, but now we're looking at 2 days in a row where we've got some quieter weather. Temperatures low to mid 70s Saturday, it looks like right now, and then mid to upper 70s on Sunday. And here's the interesting thing, this pattern hangs around. We are going to stay warm into these first days of fall and last days of September. You can see through the week this week, mid to upper 70s through the week. Today, tomorrow may be our warmest days. Those are the days we may see that 80-degree mark in some spots. Friday's one to watch a little bit. We're going to see a low pass by north of us into Canada. It's looking like right now in our longer range models, and that's going to stir up some wind, and there is a possibility we could see an isolated shower, thunder shower associated with that low. And of course, since it's north of the border, the closer you are to the low, the greater the chance for that. So Northern Valley would be the area if we see some rain that would have the best bet for it. There's that weekend forecast again. And then looking ahead into next week, last couple of days of September look really good. We may see a shower heading into those first couple of days of October, but I'm really looking at our next more organized system, the longer range models putting it in toward Thursday and into Friday, even beyond our 11-day planner. So we're looking at overall a relatively very quiet stretch, which is great because I know that we've got some waterlogged areas out there from last week's rain. Be good to get that drained, and I know that it's harvest time. I want to be able to get into the fields, and comfortable too. This might be a little warm for sugar beets, but we're looking at temperatures into the 70s to upper 70s here for several days heading into the end of September. And as we head into the month of October already, this year has been flying by, and it continues to do so as we're looking ahead in our forecast. So a reminder, we really appreciate your photos. I've been sharing a fall photo each day on the Valley Today, trying to do that here as well. To get into the spirit of the fall season, and you guys take such great pictures, we want to share them. So if you've got a photo to upload, go to valleynewslive.com, and then right on the left-hand menu screen, just scroll down, and there'll be an option to submit photos. You could do that there. You can do that from the weather page, or on your VNL weather app, even better, because we're all taking pictures on our phones, right? So all you have to do is open up the app, go to the home page, and it's right at the bottom right of the screen there for you to submit your photo right from your phone too. So some options here that would be helpful for us, and we'll continue to share those to you and the rest of our viewers, and you can see other people's photos by heading to our gallery as well as we make our way through the fun fall season. And we've got some fun weather to be out and taking in some of those fall colors here in the coming week. So happy first day of fall, happy fall equinox. Enjoy this sunshine now that the fog has lifted. We've got a pretty nice day ahead of us here for today, and a nice week ahead as well.